Perfect. What is going on, everybody? This is one of my clients, Morgan. We've been working together for the past 4 months. And yeah, really just wanted to invite you in and talk about how the last 4 months have been, kind of what we've done together, where you started, where you're at now. So thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
my pleasure.
Let's start with where you were at 4 months ago. If we can go back in time, kind of walk me through like what you were experiencing from the food side of things, maybe where like your fitness was at, kind of talk about being a mom and all of those things, kind of like where you started and why you were at a point that was like getting help with this makes some sense.
Yeah. I had a baby over a year ago. She's a year and a half almost now, and worked out my entire pregnancy. Felt great. Thought I was eating healthy. And I guess my idea of healthy food was just not fast food, right?
Sure.
Um, and truly didn't gain a ton of weight through pregnancy, like normal range. Had my daughter, and a few months after immediately after having her, was postpartum weight. Was like, wow, that was great. Working out really worked. And then 3 months later, it was like hit me that I gained a whole bunch of weight. I don't know if it's due to breastfeeding or just not having healthy habits already in place. And kind of accepted it. Told myself, I'm gonna table this for now, and when I'm done breastfeeding and you know uh, at a better place, I can try and reevaluate my food and my health and try and lose some weight. So that lasted for a year, and I was not very happy. And my husband helped me find Live, and just really for a second opinion. Like, what can we do to get in better shape? But my biggest fear was affecting, my milk supply, not
Yeah.
wanting to cut calories and dip into that. And so that's kind of what I was afraid of, and why I didn't do anything about it for so long.
Mhm.
But you were great. And we created a meal plan that was super easy for me to follow. And I think my biggest learning in that was I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough. I definitely wasn't eating enough of the right things.
Yeah.
Um, and by following your meal plan, I not only dropped over 15 pounds, but I didn't dip my milk supply at all. And I'm still breastfeeding today
Yeah.
and on a good solid track with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a common thing that I hear with women who do CrossFit 3 to 5 days a week is like the underfueling and attempts to lose body fat and attempts to
Mm-hmm,
perform better and your clothes to fit better and all of these things. But like
mm-hmm,
ultimately what happens is since we're not fueling for performance, we're not fueling for the times that we're in the gym to actually like get the adaptation from lifting a little bit heavier and doing a little bit more reps, right, of these exercises, then we end up just losing muscle mass and getting this kind of like I don't know, this like skinny fat sort of feeling. And like we're like, man, like I'm going hard in the gym. I feel like I'm eating healthy, right? I hear that all the time. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm eating pretty healthy. And I'm like, I'd love to see what's
yeah,
going on,
right,
right? Like, I'm like,
right.
okay, like how much of it goes to like
Yep.
skipping meals, and then like we're going out, all and kind of dining out all weekends. We like are like, well, I should just not eat all day Monday, right, to make up for it. And all of
Hmm.
these kind of, bad habits or things that even just like culturally as a society, like with women, we just tend to underfuel for a long period of time. And then that kind of reflects in the gym and leaves us in this like, well, I'm working really hard, but like nothing's changing in the mirror. My clothes are
Right.
the same way. And like this has just been happening for as long as I can remember, right? Like the
Yep.
years just go by and like nothing
Yep.
really changes. And like
Yep.
we don't PR for years and like we're in the same, size pants and we're like, what the heck, right? So, and
Yep.
you had, a whole nother layer because you were postpartum and still wanting to continue breastfeeding, which was obviously a huge priority for us, making sure your energy levels were
Hmm.
there, right? Your appetite was there. And so we had, some kind of other factors coming in. As far as like in the gym, what do you feel like since like you were losing, body fat, we've lost over 15 pounds.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like a lot of, especially CrossFitters are like, oh, so I want to, gain, weight so I can focus on getting strong, or I want to lose weight. So I'm going to focus on, cardio and gymnastics. Kind of what have you seen from like your gains in the gym or how you felt in the gym kind of during this process and losing body fat?
Yeah. So I was a year postpartum and still couldn't do my pull-ups. Like still didn't have those back. And once we started working together, I want to say within like the first 8 pound, the first 8 pounds I lost, I was able to finally do my pull-ups again. Like that for me was like huge. 8 pounds may not sound like a lot, or you may visibly not be able to tell the difference in my body, but I
Sure.
could tell in my strength and what I was doing in the gym. That handstand push-ups, running felt lighter. I felt like I could go faster, harder, longer. For sure, I could feel it in the gym and I could feel it in my jeans before I could see it in the mirror.
Right. Yes. And that's why like paying attention to progress photos and doing scans and like paying attention to those things and like what we look at when we do our check-in calls together, right? Like those things that people kind of think like everyone's so excuse me, especially for women, so focused on like the number on the scale, the number on the scale. I gotta get to 152 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this
Mm-hmm.
imaginary number that we made up in our head
Yep.
is going to
Yep.
like make us feel sexy and strong and all of these feelings. And like a lot of times we like get to that number and it's like, one, it's not all it's made up to be. Two, especially for, CrossFitters and people that have performance goals as well. It's like, well, I ask people like, okay, say your goal is 150. Okay, let's say, you're 170 right now. And what if we got to 155? But you could do your first strict pull up ever in your life. You PR'd your mile by 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You fit into the jeans that you never thought you fit into again. Your partner's telling you how amazing you look, right? All of these things. Would you care
What's
about,
those 5 pounds?
right? What would you
Right.
care about the 5 pounds? And
Right.
everyone I've ever asked that to has answered no, right? Because like ultimately it's not the number on the scale. It's how we look, how we feel, how we like are able to perform in the gym and like express our fitness that really
Yep.
matters. And when we dig a little bit deeper, it's like everyone is on the same page with that. Like we can pretty much like be like, okay, it's good to have a number to just kind of get an idea of where you want to go, but like ultimately it comes to like your performance and just your body composition, right? Like that's what people are
100%.
really after. Not a certain weight, your body composition, how much body fat and muscle mass you have. That
Yeah.
like, makes your clothes fit better and you feel better in the gym and look better in the
Mm-hmm.
mirror and all those things. Um, I feel like nutrition coaches in the CrossFit space, a lot of them, like, let's be honest, is just kind of this like, welcome in, Morgan. Here's some macros for you. And like, I'll email you in a month to see how it's going. If you could just like give a little bit of how this is different and has made it more, I guess, tangible and like truly sustainable for you and not just this like, I mean, just like you could have Googled it, right? Like, how is
Right.
it
Right.
different from like just giving you information and being like, talk to you when I talk to you versus like having someone that really like coaches you? Like,
Yeah.
what's been the
Yeah.
difference so far?
Well, the tailoring to my specific needs was first and foremost like so important, and I felt like you truly listened to me. You wanted to know, when do I currently eat? What's my schedule look like? And then you tailored it around me, to make sure that I was getting in those, numbers, getting in enough protein at every meal and all of those things without being starving too,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And then oh, I had a sentence on the tip of my tongue and now I've
That's
lost
okay.
it.
That's okay.
You can crop that.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
um, but also having you just on the line. Like I'm trying out a new, snack option. So for instance, I started with those mush snacks. Like, hey, is this a good option? And no, it's got a lot of carbs in it, but it's also got protein. And you replying back, well, maybe we don't have a protein, or a carb, which would have been my banana. We're
Yep.
going to do
Yep.
that. Let's just use the one. So having you there on the line anytime that I had a question like that.
100%.
That the app was so cool. Like you
Yeah.
could look up places if you were going out to eat, recommendations that kind of fall within those parameters of meals on their menu,
Mhm.
without going too far out of the line, right? You're a
Right.
realistic coach to know, like, okay, sometimes we like to go out to eat.
Totally.
What is our best option in doing that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's having you so readily available to answer any questions or give suggestions or talk through different recommendations,
Totally.
as opposed to just, yeah, Googling, what can I eat? What should I be eating? How much protein? And then what does that look like? And
Uh-huh.
then also the feedback that you give on the meals, like, hey, that looks great, but let's also incorporate a little bit of this.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the coaching space is going to look a lot different in the next couple of years with AI, right? Like,
Right.
so many advancements with AI, but like, what's so cool and what makes me so excited about that, because a lot of coaches in the space are like, oh my gosh, like everyone, not just coaches, are like, hey, it's gonna take my job, right?
Yeah,
There's
right,
so much
right.
fear out there around AI and its capabilities, and but people think like in a year, like the job's not gonna exist and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, I have so much confidence in like, what I'm doing because ultimately, no matter how good they get, no one can replace a real person messaging you and actually
Yep.
being in your corner enough to care about
Yep.
your goals as much as you do and say, hey, Morgan, let's
Mm-hmm.
have this instead. Hey, I noticed you had this. Let's have a little bit more protein at the next meal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, there's not going to be some chatbot that's just going to like give you
Right.
as much like personalized coaching. And like, sure, you could have an automation say, like, good job today, right? But like,
Right.
ultimately looking at everything and also having the context of like, you're a mom that's postpartum and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to make sure you can still breastfeed and still have these goals
Mm-hmm.
in the gym and have these goals for like your aesthetic goals, right? Like having all of the context there is
Mm-hmm.
so important. And like, it just makes me so excited, honestly, like having clients like
Oh
you.
yeah.
It makes me so excited to do what I do. Like it makes it so fulfilling and rewarding being able to like kind of show you something different with nutrition that you haven't tried before because you have tried multiple things in the past and like showing
Mm-hmm.
you this kind of new way to look at food and like getting you the structure and accountability you need to like execute on it, right? Because I tell people all the time, I can have the best plan ever and give it to you and give you the app and give you the grocery list and all the things. But ultimately, if you don't follow through and trust the process and trust me,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
you're going to see much. So
Yeah.
you did that. And like, that's what makes this so rewarding and makes me feel so confident. Like with all the AI advancements, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
no one can replace a real
No.
person and a real client and that relationship and just
Mm-hmm.
like, the process of going through it together.
And the accountability, that you hold to, like knowing we're going to chat and I want to have positive results because,
Yep.
I mean, for me, right, first and foremost, but also to share with you in my corner. So
Yeah. And we
no,
celebrate together.
no chat or automation is going to give you that.
Exactly, 100%. And like, yeah, like really, really be, in your corner with all of the context and like really give you like, yeah, the personalized coaching that you need because ultimately like coaching programs are going to start being less and less and less personalized, less actual coaching, right? Because it's just
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like bots, right? And
Mm-hmm.
automations everywhere, and
Yep.
less just like, hey, let's you and me message back and forth about what you should get out at this restaurant with your husband to say,
Right.
right,
Right.
like that's so different. So I
Yeah, it
like
is.
truly, truly like appreciate the last 4 months of you trusting me with this journey. Like there's, so many, other nutrition coaching companies and people out there. And like I gave you the plan and the app and like all the tools and like you executed on it and have gotten these awesome results. So I just
And I can't thank you enough for all the guidance and encouragement too, right? I mean, that goes so far.
yeah, 100%, 100%. It's definitely a team effort, but yeah, thank you so much for doing this interview too, and just kind of talking about your process, especially like for other maybe new moms or just moms that have maybe had a couple of kiddos and just feel like they're stuck too and they don't really know where else to go and they like are in this place that like their body's changing, they're at a new kind of point in life and need to figure out what's next and maybe things that used to work don't work so well anymore. um
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, yeah, being able to give them some direction there too. um yeah, thank you so much for doing this. Last question I have is like, for anyone who is kind of on the fence of like investing in a coach, especially online, right? Especially nowadays, you just never know what you're getting into. Someone
Yep.
that's kind of on the fence of investing in a coach like you did to see the changes that you saw. What would you say now that you're kind of been through this for 4 months? Like, what would you say to someone that's like, oh, I don't know about that?
Well, I told myself for a full year that I could do it on my own, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And in the first conversation that we had, I had the confidence in your, knowledge and just the conversation that we had made me feel like this was worth the risk. What's worst case, right? You don't take that leap of faith, you don't take that step, and then you're nowhere better, nowhere further. So I would rather invest in my health than invest in my, what is the phrase? Invest in your health as opposed to investing in your recovery or
Yeah.
whatever the phrase is about
Yeah.
paying the medical bills. I'd rather pay
Yes.
that bill up
You're
front
gonna
in
pay it
my
one way or the
yeah.
other. You're gonna pay for your health, whether that's now
Exactly.
or whether it's the hospital bills
Exactly.
later. So,
Right. That's it.
and
That's
that's,
it.
same thing with, gym memberships and everything else, right? And then, or like
Mm-hmm.
buying, what healthier food and like, all those things,
Uh-huh.
like investing in a coach falls into that bucket of like,
Yeah.
you have to pay,
Oh
invest
yeah.
in your health now, or you're going to be forced to invest
Exactly.
later, which sounds a
Exactly.
little, morbid or mean or harsh,
Mm-hmm.
but like
Oh, it's so true.
it is the reality of it,
It's so
right?
true. And to look at my daughter and know that I want a better version of me for her, right? I want to be able to do all the things I do today and 20 years from now when she's at an age where she's doing it, you
Uh,
know? So you can't put a price tag on that. And it's worth investing in yourself.
Totally, totally. And like trusting you too, that you're gonna follow through and like you're
Mm-hmm.
also placing a
Mm-hmm.
bet on you.
Right. Now you're financially committed. I think that was the other thing too, right? To tell yourself for so long, "God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Or I can do it on my own. I can look up my macros and see what I need.
Yep,
Until you put pen to paper or money to it,
sure.
sometimes it's hard to keep yourself accountable. So you've invested, you've paid the money, you're going to see it through.
And yep. And then like once you, yeah, exactly. And like I have this phrase of like when you pay attention, right? And
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
why like truly like I don't even work with like like really close, family and friends anymore because it's like, hey, like I need you to take me seriously, right?
Right.
A lot of
Right.
other people that are like, oh yeah, I have a friend that, does nutrition at the gym and it's $50 a month or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know how to say this, but like that's not going to work for you, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just you need someone that like you can have that relationship with that's going to lock you in and like be like, okay, the next 4 months, me and you are going to rock so that
Yep.
after that 4 months is up, you feel capable and like understand how to do this on your own, right? Like I want
Yep.
this to be everyone's last coaching program that they need
Yes. Yeah.
and like not like need right to continue and continue like I want you to have that 4 months us to be
Mm-hmm.
so locked in and then be like I'm gonna spread my wings and fly right and
Yep.
like, I
Yeah.
think that's
And
amazing.
you are that little birdie now, even, not talking every day, like, hey, don't mindlessly snack, right? Like if
Yep.
I'm hungry, I need to eat something that has protein in it. I need something that's going to give me that, fill, and it needs to be whole. It needs to be real food.
Yep.
Like otherwise I am just wasting these calories. I don't even know, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. That stuck with me more than anything, the whole mindless snacking. Like I don't do it anymore.
Exactly
If I feel like I'm hungry, I need to go find something that's going to be clean food to eat.
exactly having intention around food and we've talked about that
Intention.
a lot
Yeah.
bringing intentionality to everything that you eat especially when you got kiddos and it's like oh
Yeah.
sandwich I'll have a guy like right that's so easy to do and like bringing intentionality to your food how you're fueling yourself and like anything with food and fueling and around your workouts and right,
Mm-hmm.
it all comes together so no I super appreciate you taking the time kind of walking through your
Yeah.
experience and yeah hopefully helping some other people that are just kind of in that place that have probably been trying for a year and just feel stuck and are just like, I don't know, hiring someone online feels kind of weird and like having the guts to dive in and put pen to paper and invest now instead of later. So I
Yeah.
super appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, if anyone is interested in seeing results like Morgan, or you're kind of like, oh, I've been in that place, like, oh my gosh, Morgan is like talking to me right now. There'll be a link somewhere below this video where you can chat with me, kind of see where you're at, where you want to be, and see if we're a good fit to do what Morgan and I did. But thanks so much, girl. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.